When I talked with Gabby for the first time, I found that we had many similarities and that it was easy to talk to her, while at first I thought it might be hard to speak with someone I didn't know. We both had the same typical school day routine. We got up around 6:30, went to school, then hung out with our siblings. The main difference in our routine was that her school ended at 12:40 while mine ended around 2:30. At first, I was a little jealous when she said this because we started at the same time and she got out a lot earlier than I do. Also, instead of 2 semesters like we have, she had 4 bi-semesters. And the school year started in January. At first, I was surprised, but then she reminded me that our winter is her summer. Also, she had 3 classes instead of 6 like I had, and they had a snack in between instead of lunch, and the teachers moved classrooms, and the students stayed stationary. Her 3 main fears in high school were college, not having friends around, and being bullied. I never really worried about bullies, but I did worry about not having enough time to complete all my schoolwork and have free time to do other activities. Friends was the only thing that we had in common concerning what made us happy. Her other 2 were sports and working on the farm. For me, family and reading were my other 2. For big tests in school, we both had to worry about the college entrance exams such as ACT or SAT. However, the difference between us is that she had to take a secondary special test for higher end colleges, and these were called vestibular tests. She had to take one for each college she applied to. For these tests, there are special classes that she took after school for about 5 hours each day. She would also take old exams to practice and prepare for it. For my big tests, I didn't really take any classes to prepare or do practice exams. Something I found interesting was that in Brazil, GPA doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is a vestibular test. But if you score well enough, college is free. So it seems very stressful, but with a good reward at the end. Neither of us kept much pictures from high school, but the ones we did have were just with our close friends. One thing I found interesting was that our graduate programs, such as medical school, or veterinary school, or law school, are undergraduate programs in Brazil. So she went to undergrad school and got a vet degree. Some other things that I learned that were not education based, but I found interesting, are that we are both Catholic, most of Brazil is, and that we go to the same church here. Also in Brazil, they are extremely friendly. They will hug instead of shake hands with people and treat strangers as family. As someone who loves hugs, that seems like a pretty nice way to greet someone. I also thought that it was interesting that they view lunch as the most important meal of the day, unlike here, where breakfast seems to be deemed most important. The differences in cultures and education was something I found interesting while talking with Gabby. There, they seem to value more effort than time. For example, it takes 8+ years to become a vet here, while there it took only 4. Regarding metacognition, there are 2 personal experiences that stand out to me. In high school, I knew that physics was not my strong suit. I knew that I understood the basic concepts, but not the more complex steps. However, physics was not super important to me, so when it came to applying metacognitive strategies, I didn't. On the other hand, I cared a lot about my anatomy class, so I took care to plan out my studying, start days before, and use other resources to help me fully understand the material. When I asked Gabby about this concept, she thought of how she had amazing teachers, and when the students knew that they were struggling, the teachers organized trips to farms to help them gain a better understanding of how things worked in real life. Gabby would take advantage of this when she knew that she didn't understand something in her animal related classes and would go on these trips. This helped her do better in class.